Hello, this is Miss Pat from San Luis Public Library. This week in Science Scouts, we're going to learn about polymers and why some things leak and why some things don't leak. Our story this week is called The Sleeping Porch by Karen Ackerman. Last year, our parents bought their first house. My younger brothers, Mitch and Hal, and sisters, Becca and Lily, still had to share bedrooms and closets, but they were excited anyway. As the oldest, I got a bedroom all to myself, which I thought was great. But none of us imagined how much trouble the house would turn out to be. We lived in a small apartment, and sometimes our parents got cranky because we were always bumping into each other in the hallways and doorways. Looks a little crowded, huh? I feel like I'm living in a Cracker Jack box, Mom would groan, usually when she was trying to find room to put something away. And there wasn't any room. Won't we ever have a house of our own? She'd ask Dad. Dad would laugh and say, I should have been born a Rockefeller. And though we didn't know exactly what a Rockefeller was, we laughed too because it sounded funny. Then one day, Mom and Dad told us that they bought a house. We all begged to see it. And Dad said, let's take them on a pass-by. So we piled into the car. When Dad stopped in front of a house, we thought we were dreaming. It was bigger than any of us could believe, though it needed some paint and fixing up. You'll finally have your own room, Jonathan, Mom said to me. And there's a sleeping porch. What's that, Mom? Mitch asked from the back seat. See over on the right? It's built on the side of the house and it's all screened in. When I was a girl, our house had one too. The day we moved in, Mom sighed. This is the happiest day of my life. And we felt the same way. Mitch and Hal started to stuff things in their closet and thumbtack kung fu posters up on the walls. Becca and Lily unpacked dolls and stuffed animals and lined them on their twin beds. Mom covered the kitchen cabinet shelves with paper and unpacked dishes, pots, and pans. Come on, Jonathan, Dad said to me, and I helped him carry the storage boxes into the basement and garage. By the time most of the packing boxes were empty, we were starting to feel at home in our new house. Then, one hot summer night, there was a terrible thunderstorm, and all the lights went out. It's okay, Dad reassured us, and he got out his flashlight while Mom lit a few candles. But then we heard a dripping sound everywhere. Water suddenly poured through the roof, into the bedrooms, dining room, family room, kitchen, and bathrooms. Mom rushed to get pots and pans from the kitchen and told us to put them under the drips. Dad tried to stop the leaks with duct tape, and the rest of us ran around in the candlelight, searching for drips. That doesn't look fun, does it? But there were too many, and we gave up, laughing, playing in the raindrop waterfall, and having splash fights. The thunder was so loud that Lily started to cry, and Becca crawled under the dining room table. We huddled together with candles and Dad's flashlight till the storm was over. There wasn't a dry place left inside. The bedroom carpets were soaked, the kitchen floor was flooded, and the dining room walls were streaked from dripping water. Now what? Dad moaned, looking at the ruined carpets and walls. Where are we going to sleep? How about the sleeping porch? Mom softly asked. So we got some pillows, sheets, and light summer blankets from the upstairs linen closet, and we followed Mom down the hallway where Dad waited with an armful of pillows and bed sheets from their room. Then we all trailed out to the sleeping porch in one long line of cranky, unhappy people in damp PJs. Mom looks happy though. The air was so steamy it was almost hard to breathe. But suddenly a breeze came through the screens like someone blowing on the backs of our neck. The wind chimes tinkled, the stars twinkled, and everything smelled fresh and green like a forest. Mom helped us to fold blankets into sleeping bags, tucked the sheets in under, and would put the pillows on top and put the blanket bags together in a circle, heads in and feet out like the spokes of a wheel. See how all their heads are out? So now they're all going out like this, right? Dad lit some citronella candles because mosquitoes were getting in through a few holes in the screen, and the smell of lemons and candle wax filled our nose. Crickets sang a dancing, snappy castanet song, and June bugs buzzed at the screens. Everyone settled down, listening to the night music and watching fireflies. "This is great," I whispered to Dad, and he smiled for the first time that night. He and Mom chuckled as they arranged their elbows and knees to snuggle together in their blanket bags. "It's just like I remember," Mom sighed to Dad. "Isn't this wonderful?" I heard him say, "Mm-hmm," before he fell asleep. Since then, the leaky roof has been fixed, and the sleeping porch gets used for lots of things. In the fall, Dad and I set up a folding table to help Mitch, Hal, Becca, and Lily carve pumpkins. On Halloween, the sleeping porch is full of funny-faced jack-o'-lanterns with candles burning inside. In the winter, we pile our sleds and boots in a corner near the door. Hats, gloves, and scarves go in a crate marked Idaho Spuds that Mom got from Meyer's grocery. All winter, I help Becca and Lily in and out of their snowsuits and remind Mitch and Hal not to track snow in on the brand new carpets. In the spring, Mom sets up rows and rows of seedlings in little pots for the summer garden. A few weeks later, the sleeping porch is full of tiny flowering buds in a zillion colors, ready for all of us to help Mom plant one afternoon in May. But in the summer, there's always a hot and stormy night where we're sitting around listening to the rain and thunder outside, and one of us just has to ask, "How about the sleeping porch?" So even though the roof doesn't leak anymore, we'll get our sheets and blankets and pillows, and out we'll march in one long line of happy people in PJs. And we'll settle down for the night in our very special place, the sleeping porch. Even though it's not leaking anymore, the house. Okay, so we're going to talk about why some things will leak and why some things won't leak. Okay. Because you guys have all probably heard of water balloons, right? So we're going to be filling a bag full of water, like a sandwich bag. And if you fill it full of water and you poke something sharp in it, what's going to happen? Probably going to get wet, right? That's what you're all thinking. Especially if you poke something through a water balloon, it's going to go pop right over your head. But if we have a sandwich bag and you poke a pencil through it, what's going to happen? So a plastic bag might look flimsy, but it's made out of something called polymer, okay? And that's a lightweight, durable barrier that's made to be very flexible, kind of like these little guys here, right? This is a polymer. It's a natural or synthetic molecule made of same thing over and over and over. Each one by itself is a monomer. When you put lots of them together, you got polymers. And that's what makes up your plastic bag. Okay, so a plastic bag is made out of lots of these things. Think of polymers as long as spaghetti. If you've ever cooked lots and lots of spaghetti, okay, and then you just let it sit there after you get all the water out, it kind of sticks together. It's really hard to stir it up, right? So no sauce has been put on this, all the water's gone, and then it just kind of sticks together, almost like it's been glued, but it's not, right? Now, if we put a pencil through this mess, it would push the parts of spaghetti apart, and then it's going to close around it so that nothing can get through. Okay, so that's what would happen if we put a pencil through this pile of spaghetti. That stuff that's gluing the spaghetti together is going to kind of seal up against the pencil. Well, it will happen the same way when you put a pencil through a plastic bag. Okay, when the pencil is removed though, okay, then the molecules are going to be pushed aside that were pushed aside, right? So now we got a hole. If the pencil's filling in that hole, it won't leak. But once you take that pencil out, you still got that hole. It doesn't go back. Just like the spaghetti won't go back. It pushes it aside, and when you pull the pencil out, you still got a hole. And then the water is going to start leaking out. So these guys put lots and lots of pencils in. And when you pull the pencils out, there's nothing there anymore. And the plastic's not going to go back together. It moved aside, and it let the pencil take up that spot. But that was it. So our challenge is, how many items can you poke through? So this person's poking through 1, we got 4, this one's a whole bunch. And this week in Science Scouts, some of you may have come in, and we'll do it in live out in the garden. And we're going to be giving you guys skewers and pencils to poke it through your bag of water. Okay, but if you don't get a chance to come into the garden and do it in person with us, come in and ask for our kits anyway, because you guys can do this at home. Okay, I suggest you do it outside though. Don't do it inside unless you're going to do it in a bathtub. Okay, because when you pull them out, it's going to obviously leak all over the place, right? So we're going to get ready. We're going to go outside and we're going to try this. Okay, we are outside now. I'm going to introduce a couple of helpers, but first I'm going to show you, you're going to get a bag. You fill it with water. You're going to get some skewers, and you're going to get some pencils. So if you guys come into the library, these are going to be the things you guys get. Now, I would practice this before you actually try what we're going to do. We have not practiced, so we're hoping it works. We're going to hold this over Anakin's head. Okay, now these are my grandkids. So we got Thea, Anakin, Aurora, and Andy. And Anakin has decided he trusts us so much that this is going to work. We're going to put this over his head while they stab these straw things right through it.
Wait, those two? Oh. That way I don't know. That way I don't know. And before you do it.
All right. So I'm going to do the first one. I have a pencil. Okay, I might hold it in front of him first. Okay, now when you guys do this, you got to make sure they're really sharp pencils. Remember, it's got to be able to poke a hole, and then the plastic is going to seal up around it, and it's got to go right through. Okay, don't go slowly. You got to go right through, like that.
It didn't leave. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now you can see the pencil go right through.
Wait.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
right through.
Wow.
This one may not. Okay, hold on. You're not going strong enough. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, Andy, go get one. So far we have 3, and yeah, they are starting to drip, especially with the skewers. All right, I think because we didn't, come here, you hold this side. 1, 2, 3. You want to grab one of the pencils? I want to do it. You want to do a pencil? No, you want to do a skewer?
Yeah,
I need you to move out of the way, honey. Ready? All right, but you went too slow, so now we're starting to drip. Right? If you go too slow,
I won't go too slow.
if you go too slow, it's going to, you're standing in front of the camera. If you go too slow through, and that last one did, it went down too slow, it's going to start to drip. So it's coming out of this one. Okay, so remember, guys, you got to go through really fast, and it doesn't matter what arrow you're at. Okay, go fast. Yeah, I don't think she has enough strength to go through. Ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. So still, the drip is coming from that one skewer.
Now watch what happens if we take.
Now, remember what happens when we start taking them out?
Let me take out one. Wait, wait a minute. I will hold my throat.
All right, we're going to have lots and lots of water. All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, try this outside or in a bathtub. Thank you.